I broke up with my ex-GF and started dating her friend when I thought she didn't love me. She just showed up screaming her friend sabotaged her. I, 28M, am really confused about the events of the last month. My ex-GF, Julie, 29F, thinks that my current GF, Mindy, 28F, is manipulative and sabotaged our 4-year relationship. I was in a loving relationship with Julie for the last 4 years. We met through some mutual friends, and Julie and I were very compatible in terms of our love for outdoor activities and running. We had very similar lifestyles and supported each other well for the last 4 years. We have also been living together for the last 3 years, and we even discussed getting married during the summer. Everything was great, and I was planning to propose to her over the holidays. However, I started to see changes in Julie's behavior around September. She was acting distant and looked stressed, which was quite noticeable, and I was worried. I trusted her with all my heart and couldn't imagine she would be cheating on me, but she did spend more time by herself. Around the same time, Julie's friend Mindy messaged me privately and asked if I could meet her secretly, as she wanted to tell me something about Julie. Mindy and Julie work together, and I have known Mindy ever since I started dating Julie. I was surprised, but to be honest, I assumed the worst, and I met her at a cafe after work. She asked me if things were going okay between Julie and me. She told me that Julie had confided in her that she was planning to leave me soon. This was a total shock to me. I asked her if there was anyone else that Julie was interested in, and she told me no. Julie confided in her that she wasn't sure about marrying me, and she told me she just had to tell me this as she didn't want me to be blindsided. I was devastated. I started putting more effort into making our relationship more exciting and planning more dates, etc. Mindy was also helping me through this time, telling me more about what Julie had confided in her. Eventually, before Thanksgiving, Julie told me that she loved me but wanted to take a break for a month to live alone. She said she just wanted to live alone for a month to make sure she wanted to marry me. I was completely heartbroken. I asked her if she wanted to pursue someone else. She told me that wasn't the case and I better not do anything stupid either. She loves me with all her heart, but she just wants to stay away from me to make sure that she is marrying me for love, and not because she is used to being with me. I didn't understand that at all. I told her that if she isn't sure after 4 years if she wants to marry me, then maybe we should just break up. We had a big fight and broke up after a few days. As our lease was ending, we decided to part ways in December. She got a new apartment, and I kept our old apartment and just took her name off the lease. After the breakup, I was feeling very lonely, as I wasn't used to being in the apartment alone. I didn't want to keep being sad, and hence invited a bunch of friends for a New Year's party, and I also invited Mindy. We had a good time, and my friends were doing their best to cheer me up. Mindy also mingled with my friends, and it was good. Mindy decided to stay back to help me clean up, and we hooked up that night. I felt guilty, but Mindy did cheer me up. Since then, we have hung out almost daily at my place. I'm still sad about Julie, but I won't lie that being with Mindy does make me feel happy. She is sweet and caring. Last Sunday, we woke up, and someone was banging on the door. I went to open it, and it was Julie. She looked furious and started yelling at me, accusing me of cheating on her. I told her I most certainly didn't cheat on her, and she was the one who broke up with me. Mindy was also at my apartment. Julie was just angry at both of us. She started calling Mindy a manipulative B-word and told me that Mindy was the one who suggested to her that she should take some time away from me to understand her true feelings. I calmed her down and asked her to explain herself. She told me that ever since our marriage talk, she told Mindy about it, and Mindy kept on asking Julie if she was sure about marrying me. Mindy suggested she take some time to herself to understand her true feelings, and that I would understand and give her space. When I said no, Mindy convinced her that I was so controlling that I couldn't even give her 1 month to herself and persuaded her to break up with me. Mindy told me that she didn't say any such things, and these were all Julie's ideas, and she was just there during these conversations. She did tell Julie that she told me about some of the things so that I could get a chance to make things right with her over the last few months. That made Julie more angry, and she started accusing me of emotionally cheating on her. Julie told me that the last few weeks have made her realize that we were meant to be together, but she now cannot believe I could move on from a 4-year relationship in a week. Update 1. After the incident, I asked Mindy for some time and haven't met her since. I messaged Julie every day since then, trying to talk to her, but she didn't reply to my messages. I wasn't sure if she blocked me. Mindy was constantly trying to message me, asking if we could meet and talk about it. On Wednesday, I decided to message Mindy. I told her to truthfully tell me everything she said to Julie. I told her that I would go no contact if I found out that she was lying. Mindy wanted to meet me in person or talk to me on the phone, but I wanted everything in writing. She messaged me that Julie always spoke well of me for all these years. When Julie told her about us discussing marriage in 2024, she was happy for both of us. However, Julie started confiding in her that she had cold feet and wasn't sure if she wanted to marry me due to issues she observed in her parents' marriage. One day, Julie told Mindy that she wanted to take a break from me as she was uncertain about her true feelings. That was when Mindy told me about Julie's behavior, feeling sorry for me, especially since we were already sharing our engagement plans with our families. After our fight, she said that Julie was extremely upset and told Mindy that she would never marry me. She mentioned that the only reason Julie came back was when she heard that I was moving on because she was jealous of us. Mindy also added that I was a good guy, and hopefully, I would realize that what we have is something special. I just said okay and told her I needed time. I kept messaging Julie once a day, hoping to at least talk to her. It was heartbreaking to think that she might have blocked me and might never talk to me again. On Friday afternoon, Julie finally replied. She said she wanted to meet me and told me she would come to our apartment on Saturday afternoon. I cleaned the place up and felt a deep sense of guilt before facing her. When she came in, she looked like a shell of herself and completely broken. I sat on our sofa, but she chose to sit away from me. We asked how we both were, but it was clear that neither of us was doing well. I started apologizing, but she stopped me. She asked me to let her finish and not to interrupt her. She had brought her little notebook and had written down things she wanted to say to me. She told me that she truly loved me, but after we discussed getting married, she started feeling scared of the next big step. She thought those feelings were normal and would go away. So, she decided not to discuss her concerns with me. It kept eating her from the inside, and she made a mistake by talking to Mindy about them. She said that she wanted to say everything to me now so I wouldn't get second-hand information about why she was distant and broke up with me. She explained that her parents had a very rocky marriage, though they stayed together until her mom passed away in 2021 during the pandemic. Her parents argued constantly, and she always thought her mom didn't love her dad. However, her mom was extremely dependent on him for everything, and her dad knew it and hence didn't treat her well. She never wanted to be like her mom after the marriage. However, as we lived together, she started noticing some of those issues in our relationship. For example, when we met, Julie had a lot of credit card debt and was bad at managing her money, and I helped her with that. Even though we have separate finances, I ended up managing all her finances, at her request, to the point that she didn't know or understand where her money exactly was. She also said that we always enjoy making nice meals for dinner every day. However, whenever I work late, she completely loses any motivation to cook and ends up eating cheese and crackers like a toddler for dinner. She also complained that in the last 4 years of our relationship, I have never said no to her for buying anything. She feels that I coddle her, and she just got comfortable with all the luxuries and things I can provide for her. She talked about this with Mindy, and while Mindy initially just listened to her, she told her around September that one of her cousins also had the same issue. She decided to stay away from her fiancé for a month, and within a week, she realized how much she missed him and never had doubts again. When Julie asked for a break, all she wanted to do was to live with her best friend for a few weeks, to see if she was just too codependent on me. She knew I was planning to propose during our Christmas trip to my parents' house, and when I told her that she couldn't take a break, she just freaked out and broke up with me. After this, she asked me when I started meeting Mindy and how many times we met. I opened my chat messages with Mindy and handed her the phone. I told her I met Mindy only once in September, where she told me that Julie wanted to break up with me because she wasn't happy with our relationship. I had already noticed Julie's distant behavior, and when I asked her, the only answer I got was, "I'm fine, we're fine." Due to my insecurities, I tried to hold on to Julie and started coddling her more, planning more expensive dates, and trying to spend more time at home. When Julie asked me for a break and to stay away from me for a few weeks, I thought that was the final step before the breakup, and I broke down and fought with her, which led to our breakup and her moving out. Julie stopped me there, and she told me she didn't need to hear the details after that. She explained that when she moved out of our house after our fight, she thought she was just not ready to get married to me. She stayed with her friend for 2 weeks and then got her new apartment in January. She told me that she was miserable and missed me badly. It became more acute when she moved into the apartment alone and couldn't stay there for even one night. Her best friend is currently staying with her in the new apartment. She realized she couldn't live without me within a week of living there. When she asked one of our mutual friends about how I was doing, she told her about the party and mentioned that Mindy was there. It didn't make sense to her why Mindy would be at the party. She concluded that Mindy and I were having an affair during our relationship, and that was the reason Mindy must have tried to break us apart by constantly telling her that she should not get married if she had doubts. When she saw Mindy in our apartment on Sunday, she completely broke down. However, when she learned that Mindy was also talking to me and telling me the opposite things, she realized how naive she was to throw everything away without properly talking to me first. As hurt as she is seeing me with Mindy, she also does not want to lose me. She kept on calling herself an idiot and apologizing for not telling her concerns to me sooner. I sat next to her and tried to hug her, but she moved away. She asked me if I was willing to still be together, and I told her I would give anything to get her back. She told me she was also willing to forget what happened, but she had a few conditions. Her first condition was that I cut contact with Mindy, I block her everywhere and never contact her again. If I see her standing in front of me, I act as if she is invisible. I was okay with that. Secondly, she has already signed up for individual therapy and is on the waitlist. She wants us to do couples therapy so that we can talk about all the concerns we have and work through them. We also decided to hold off our engagement or marriage until we both can get into couples therapy. I was also okay with that too. Finally, she wanted me to forget the last month as a bad nightmare and never talk about it again, and if I ever make a "we were on a break" joke, she will punch me in the face. This was the first time we both smiled. I asked her what she was going to do about Mindy since they worked together. She said the biggest punishment for Mindy is to know that she didn't succeed in breaking us up. She wants Mindy to see how happy she is with me, she wants Mindy to be there when she flaunts her engagement ring in the office, and she wants Mindy to get jealous when we get married. We hugged, and I felt so relieved that I had a chance to make things right for her. In the morning, we discussed moving back in together. I want her to move back to our old apartment, but she wants a fresh start and asked me if I'm willing to move into her new apartment. Her new apartment is tiny compared to our current apartment and also not in the best neighborhood, but we will talk about it more and decide. Thank you everyone who helped out.